Welcome back, Truth Seeker. It is Friday, May 14th, 2021. Israel officially has turned 73 years old today. And in the early part of the day for Israel, there was a story about how Gaza and Israel were seeking peace relations. But then since then, Israel has escalated the attacks. And like every time Israel and Gaza get into it, really big death count for the Muslims, really small death count for the Israelis. And that's why every time I see one of these stories, and especially knowing what I know now, I'm just like, this doesn't make any sense. Why would you engage and attack Israel when all you know that's going to come back is a slaughter? Israel has one of the most sophisticated militaries in the world. They have the, rocket defenses and just way better weaponry. And again, this week's altercation began on Monday, May 10th, which was exactly 201 days after Benjamin Netanyahu's birthday. And of course, 201 is the number of the Jesuits who served the Catholic Church, who clearly created Israel by the numbers, as I've talked about for years. And before we get into Israel, I want to talk about the story out of the U.S. from yesterday, the 9 people shot in Delaware, Joe Biden state. Before this happened, what was I talking about yesterday, May 13th? It being the 133rd day of the year and how important that number is to the presidency. So the sitting president, who's been a senator in Delaware all these years, on the 133rd day, there just happens to be a mass shooting in his state when he called for it at the beginning of the year. Gun control, changing of laws, an assault weapons ban. Look at this, you guys. Just look at the reporting. Police responded around 6:47, right? 6:47. They just got to get the 47 minutes after the hour, right? The number 47. What's in my background again? Again, every day, you guys, we're here talking about the exact same things. We're talking about the same things every single day. And somehow the world can't catch on and just think this is a coincidence every day, the way they insert 47 in nearly every story. Remember, 47 is the number of authority. In Gematria, authority is 47. So is government, so is policeman, so is cop, so is Republican, so is Democrat, so is president, so is White House. Government, all these words, 47. Trump on the campaign trail saying, I've done more in 47 months than Biden's done in 47 years. And don't overlook that Biden was in D.C. for 47 years before becoming president-elect. Now you get the shooting in his state at 47 minutes past the hour when president's 47. And don't forget the name Trump's 47. In 2016, the year he won the rigged selection for him, he was in the 47-story Midtown Hilton Hotel. But 47 again and again, and Gematria. Again, 4-base ciphers, they're super simple to understand. In 2015, we were saying Trump looked like the next president because of 133, but just notice, words like president have Gematria of 47 as well as 133. And all these values up here for president, the 4-base ciphers, the alphabetic order forwards and backwards with the rules numerology, all of these ciphers get used again and again with regards to rituals with the president. Remember, in 2015, Trump was reported to be the 133rd richest man in the world when he announced he was running for president. Not only is president 133, so was White House, so was government. So on the 133rd day of the year, a shooting at 47 minutes past the hour. And notice how all these words are 133, 47. Government is, White House is, president is. They're all so similar. And do you see all the overlap? You see the 52 as well? Government's 52. White House is 52. President's 52. All the overlap. Again, it's not an accident, you guys. These are cleverly thought out words. There's a lot of meaning behind these numbers. Again, we've talked about all these things several times over the years, but just to see, on the 133rd day of the year, 47 minutes past the hour, a shooting in the president's state, Delaware, where he's been senator. And then adding to the mockery, from Biden's birthday to the supposed shooting was 174 days, connecting to false flag. New World Order's got the gematria of 174 as well as 177, like propaganda, which is what false flags are. And again, all these rituals are synced up with the Pope. Everything about Biden's been synced with the Pope, every last thing he's done. So why not this? Look at this. From the Pope's birthday, December 17th, to May 13th was 147 days later. How perfect. Delaware's 147, U.S. President's 147, President of the United States is 147, 147 windows on the White House. I always wondered about the 35 bathrooms in the White House, but now I don't wonder anymore. I just think about, the Catholic Church, Catholic 35. Remember, Catholics 35 forwards, 46 in reverse, like JFK number 35, killed at age 46. The election was exactly 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday. Biden becomes number 46. Inauguration Day was the Pope's 35th day of his age. But you just think about the Catholic Church, an anal assault in a bathroom, and 35 bathrooms in the White House. I see the sick joke. Don't forget the Jesuit logo, the IHS with the cross. When you flip it upside down, it spells out shit. And again, the anal fixation, the Catholic Church. And again, just to make the parallel from rape to government, rape is when someone forces themselves onto you. Doesn't government force themselves onto all of us from the day we're born? Right away, the government's got to stamp you, number you, vaccinate you. Again, I think we should change the word of government to rape. I think people really need to understand that. The government really is rape. Just raping you in every way. Your mind, your pocketbook. Sure, there's a lot of people that have got to experience the young dumbasses being sent over for the wars, the American young dumbasses that think they've signed up to be American heroes when all they've signed up for is the New World Mercenary Force. I'm sure they've gotten raped by some good American soldiers, women all over the world in innocent nations that had nothing to do with what they're blamed for. But the schmuck they had on the TV talking about this, Hugh Clement, just look at it, 46, man. 46. In Joe Biden's state, the man who became 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday, that's the same cipher that Clement's 46, or not Clement, Catholic's 46. And I think the ritual was saying 9 people shot. Biden is number 46, but he's only the 45th person to be president. Again, that's because of Grover Cleveland split term, so the count's been off ever since Grover Cleveland. Grover Cleveland's 2 numbers, but only 1 person, so he bumped the count up 1 because he had a split term. And it's possible Trump ends up doing that in the 60th election. We'll see. But with regards to 9 people shot, 45 is the 9th triangular number. That's just like how Trump did the looking good number 9 commercial years before becoming president, where that had all the predictive programming for his presidency. When you add 1 through 9 together, it's 45, of course. In that commercial, Trump's talking to Digital Sheep 11 and 9, but specifically 9, saying, looking good, number 9, looking good. And then he becomes president-elect on 11/9, the anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall 45. And again, every time as I do these presentations, I just think, God, man, the world's got to be so stupid to continue to deny this work. I mean, 8 years straight of proving what's undeniable every single day. There's the same shit every day. I mean, God, we just live in such an inept world, man. It is just so inept. I just think, come on, man. Numbers, patterns, that just happens. Isn't it funny just talking to the retards? They're all the same way. It's just like, oh, okay. Can you give me an example? They're like, come on, man, this is silly. Nobody would do this. It's like, okay. And your opinion comes from where? Right from everybody's asshole. Somehow the Catholic Church has everybody speaking out of their assholes. Probably also not a coincidence. Don't forget 132 rooms in the White House. Catholic Church 132, Roman Catholic 132, United States of America 132. Again, all this stuff's cleverly thought out. I'll have to figure out what's behind the 412 doors. That's one I've never thought about. But also, by the way, there's the latest count on Israel's birthday is 119 dead in Gaza. 119 on Israel's birthday, right? How many times have we talked about Israel and 119 over the years? I'd estimate somewhere between 1 million and 1 billion. But Star of David, of course, is 119 in the most simple cipher. And again, it's the Vatican behind all this, the Catholic Church. Vatican's got the 119. Francis even has the 119. All-seeing eye, got a statue of it, the Vatican 119. But again, these numbers are symbolic. 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 So, of course, they got a report on Israel's birthday that the death count is now 119. And again, in the early part of the day, for a short while, it was reported that they were seeking peace, but then Israel began with the shelling of Gaza some more. And I just want you to see that when the story was written earlier today, they mentioned how there were 4 straight days of violence and then these momentary peace talks, and now we're into the 5th day of violence. Remember, 5 is symbolic with the Satanic Church and the Synagogue of Satan. So the 5th day of violence comes on the 15th, where 15 is the 5th triangular number, and of course Israel's birthday. But again, I just want to go over this. Oh, hold on, I forgot to point out how they talk about how it's been a bloody 4-day-old conflict. Now today is the 5th day, but there was this pause after 4 days, all symbolic. And just notice, even the word bloody 73, like Gaza 73, Gaza getting shelled the week of Israel's 73rd birthday. I mean, it couldn't be any more by the numbers. And again, the Catholic Church is clearly behind this. 73 books in the Catholic Bible. All of this is biblical. Again, the shelling began on May 10th, written 10/5, like 105 in Israel. Bible's 105. It's the year 21. Remember, Bible's 21, War's 21, Army is 21, Jesuit is 21, Evil's 21. My first post of 21 said, watch out for the war rituals in 21. 73 is the 21st prime number. We talked about this at the beginning of the year. Watch for the 73-21 combos. Couldn't be any more obvious. Theodore Herzl, dead on 7/3, the founder of Zionism in history. And of course, his name, Theodore Herzl, is also 73. And then David Ben-Gurion, who declared Israel a state, also another 73. He's who officially declared Israel a nation on May 14th, 1948, 73 years ago. His name, David Ben-Gurion, 145, like 14/5. Again, just such improbable coincidences. And again, it's the Catholic Church behind all this. Catholic. 145 more chapters in the Catholic Old Testament than the Protestant Old Testament, which is the Jewish section. Thus why the Catholic Church would set up a Jewish nation on 14/5 when they're doing everything by the numbers straight out of the Bible. And again, don't forget, you guys, the Jesuit order is 201. And when you write out the Holy Bible, it's 201. And this attack began on May 10th, Bible Day, 201 days after Netanyahu's birthday. So, I don't know where anyone could come from that this is all a coincidence, but still, that's where the majority of humanity is, you know. So again, David Ben-Gurion, 73 years ago today, said Israel's a nation. 73 years later, Gaza's getting rocked. And back then when they said that, they said they'd never infringe on the Palestinians around there. They would live in peace. Well, here you are. Here's your peace. And I mean, it hasn't been peace the whole time. There's been all sorts. The whole time Israel's been there, they've been growing their borders, taking land from the people around them. I mean, it's been a lie the whole time. And again, what's it say in Revelation? What's it say in the 73rd book of the Catholic Bible, Revelation? It says in the end time there will be the false Jews who are the synagogue of Satan, who are liars. It's exactly what it says in the Bible. All of this is contrived prophecy. This isn't the Bible being like, oh, the Bible's so true. Look, it's all coming to pass. No, the Bible was the slave book printed for the slaves to control the slaves, to teach them to turn the other cheek to tyranny, and to expect gloom and doom for the future, which is exactly what's been going on. And as the gloom and doom's gone on by the same controllers, the same slave masters who gave you the book, who now control the news and governments and wage wars and put out lies every day, the people who've been trained by the slave book are like, see, my book is so true. Everything in here is happening. It's because these people are retarded. This is not God's prophecy, you guys. This is man-made religion, man-made actions, man-made war, all by the man-made code that's supposed to be in tribute to God. And I have come to believe in the time I'm doing this that God does work through numbers. That's apparent. So it is based in probably the truth of how God operates, but still, this is all man-made and contrived by man. This is man trying to be like God. This is not the work of God. It is so obvious. Theodore Herzl, dead at 44 in 1904, 44 years before the establishment of Israel. And let's remind that Israel's always been a military force, the biggest violator in the world of the Geneva Conventions, meaning they're the most terrorist-like nation, because that's essentially what the Geneva Conventions are, is to keep you from behaving like a terrorist. But military-based Israel, the biggest violator, that just continues to get to violate. You know, you don't ever see the U.S. stepping into Israel and taking out its leader like we do in other countries. No, in Israel, it's fine. It's fine. It's because the U.S., of course, is a terrorist nation, too. And we're all backed by the Catholic Church. We're the Catholic Church's terrorist, military-inspired nations is essentially what we are. But anyway, Theodore Herzl, the founder of Zionism, dead at 44 in 1904, 44 years before the establishment of Israel. Just notice, military 44, like infantry, like trooper, like soldier, like Israel, like Netanyahu, like Zion. Reminding of what we covered back in 2015. Feels like it was yesterday. Netanyahu's 44 seconds of silence, which were directed at Barack Obama. He had a big problem with Obama, even though Obama was always giving all this money to Israel. I was like, wait a minute. Obama's supposed to be the worst thing for Israel, and he's giving them the most money ever? I mean, how's this even possible? These stories don't make any sense. But, again, the momentary pause after 4 days of violence in the big 44 ritual, where 4 is the number associated with death. But this momentary stall early in the day with the violence was short-lived. And, again, conflict stalls Arab-Israeli rapprochement. And just that phrase, Arab-Israeli rapprochement, look at you guys, 121 and 149, right? 121 and 149. Where have I seen those numbers? Revelation, the 73rd book of the Catholic Bible, right? And this whole thing started 10/5 and Bible's 105, and in 21 when Bible's 21. And again, I mean, could it be any more obvious in Revelation? What's going on in Revelation? In Revelation, there is war, there is crazy weather, there is plague, illness. Again, everything that's going on in the world right now is all being contrived by the same code. And remember how big we were talking about 121 and Revelation with the pandemic when it was declared? Remember, January 21st, 121 was the first case confirmed outside of mainland China, and it was in the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation's backyard, and Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation's 121, and what is it, World Health Organization is 121, and that day on January 21st, the headline was Coronavirus Outbreak, which is 121, and channel 121 was set up on Sirius XM, the coronavirus station, and there's even more to that list that I'm forgetting right now. But again, and don't forget the Cladex pandemic simulation of May 15th, 2018, be the 3-year anniversary tomorrow. That was exactly 666 days before the pandemic was declared. 666, right from Revelation. And don't forget, Revelation has that 149 in it, which is the 35th prime, which is Catholic. Again, it all goes right back to the Catholics. So, and, yeah, 401 in that phrase is the 79th prime. 79 is the 22nd prime. Society of Jesus is 79, but 22 chapters in Revelation. 247, we're still in the 247th year since the Jesuits were banned by the Pope, but they were reinstated. Some big rituals with 247 that we covered in the last year. And there might be something more to that number, I don't know. But in this article about this, they talked about the Abraham Accords, Trump's Abraham Accords, which were August 13th, 2020. We covered that then. And they're saying that's only made things worse now in hindsight. Of course, in the picture, they got Netanyahu and Trump, and I don't know my Middle East as well enough, but these must be the guys representing Palestine and the Muslim cause. But my guess is if we really look into it, we'll probably find out. We know Netanyahu and Trump are. I'm sure, I imagine these two guys on the right are the Arab men. I imagine they're Jesuit puppets and pawns just as well. I should do some more research, but that's my assumption. But again, the Abraham Accords, you guys. Abraham 44, right? Another 44. And then it's Genesis 12:1, kind of like 121, where Abraham is called by God. Again, Revelation's based on everything in the Bible that comes before it. And remember, Obama put out his book, A Promised Land, which relates to Abraham, on November 17, 2020, the day leaving 44 days left in the year. And Obama is 59 right now. That is one of the values of Revelation. Don't forget how Biden just won the 59th U.S. presidential election. Just to remind you what time it is. And again, the Abraham Accords were August 13th, 13/8, right? Big Donald Trump ritual. Donald Trump, who has his face on the side of a shekel in Israel that's being sold to raise funds to build the third temple, which is a clear sign that things are going to get escalated. For there to be the third temple, they have to essentially destroy the Muslim presence in Jerusalem. So, I mean, they're telling you that there's a major conflict coming. I mean, they've been putting it right in front of our face. Donald Trump in Jerusalem for Jerusalem Day. Then he's at the Vatican right after on the 144th day of the year with the Jesuit Pope. That was May 24th, 2017. And, but anyway, Trump, his Abraham Accords that he gloated about on 13/8. Well, notice August 13th is the 225th day of the year. We've been talking a lot about the number 225. Remember, that's the Great Tribulation number, which is the period of chaos in Revelation. Again, if you write out the Great Tribulation, it's 225. We really clued into this last year with what went down with George Floyd, because he was supposedly killed on his 225th day of his age, and that same week, the Catholic Church settled sexual assault lawsuits in Minnesota, where the George Floyd thing happened, for $22.5 million. $22.5 million. Here, if you forgot those headlines, I'll just go back and show you. I guess that wasn't the right post. I think this is the right post right here. Okay, $22.5 million, May 27th. That's one day after the George Floyd video was released. And then he was killed on his 225th day of his age, supposedly. And the name of the church, 119, like George Floyd, like All Seeing Eye, like Vatican, like Star of David, like here we are again. Here we are again. 119 dead on Israel's birthday, they say. And again, it's all they report is bullshit numbers every day, you guys. I mean, there could be way more people dead. There probably is way more people dead. I mean, they've fired a lot of big bombs into Gaza. And if you've seen what it looks like in Gaza, it's not pretty. A lot of buildings just destroyed that I'm sure people were in. But all this stuff, you guys, it's all symbolic. And just to notice, from the day of the August 13th Abraham Accords to May 10th, the day the fighting started, 271 days. Remember, that's the 58th prime. Remember, Trump's Mr. 58, the winner of the 58th election. His whole Jerusalem Day ritual was a huge 58 thing. Of course, Jerusalem has that 58 in it as well. And again, you guys, every single thing these people do, it's all part of again, these politicians are no different than actors who have playing the part of a movie that was already written. We are living out planned history. I've been explaining this for years. Everything they do is part of a planned script. They already have the next chapter written. You know, we're witnessing this chapter right now, but they've already written these chapters that are the months and years ahead. And as you just follow the line, you just see how it all lines up. And from August 13th to the birthday today is 274 days later. That's the big Jesuit motto, Isus Hominum Salvator. Again, it's the Jesuits all the way. By the way, the conflict began May 10th, 35 days before Trump's upcoming birthday. Of course, that's the Catholic number. So, Revelation 7:14 is the Great Tribulation. The Great Tribulation, 7:14. And again, just Bible, Jesuit, war, army, evil. They're all words that equals 21. 73 is the 21st prime. 73 books in the Catholic Bible. Gaza, 73. Here we are on the 73rd birthday. Said at the beginning of the year, watch for major war rituals this year with these exact patterns for these exact reasons. And the first big one was on February 1st, 2-1 in Burma, which was a huge Jesuit ritual. The Jesuits are all over this world. Again, we're on the Catholic Jesuit calendar. We're speaking the Catholic Jesuit English language, the language of the world. Again, you know, a lot of people, you know, that are Jewish from Israel have made videos trashing my work over the years. We got the lady who writes for the Israeli paper over there who's now written 3 articles about me going after me. I mean, where's she at today? She's saying my work's bullshit and I'm spreading conspiracy theories and false information. I mean, how can you be saying this how can you say my work is bullshit and spreading false information when it lines up every single day? I mean, and again, it's not after the fact. It's calling these things out before they happen, as we continuously do. How many times have I taught the same thing about David Ben-Gurion and Catholic and Israel's establishment? You know? So, again, the only people that are full of shit are the people saying this work is bullshit. You got to be totally full of shit to not see what's going on. Okay. So this is the latest. After the momentary peace earlier today, you know, the war's back on. And it only makes sense. On the 73rd birthday, of course, you got to have acts of war. I mean, it just makes too much sense. You're doing things by the numbers. Revelation, the synagogue of Satan, it's all right here. And, hold on. Revelation 3:7. Let's see if it gives me more than that. Yeah, it's the begin. That's the beginning to the letter of the Church of Philadelphia. Here. Let me do 3:7 through 3:9. That'll get enough of it in there. But to the angel of the church in Philadelphia write, these are the words of him who is holy and true, who holds the key of David. What he opens, no one can shut, and what he shuts, no one can open. I know your deeds. See, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. I know that you have little strength, that you have kept my word and have not denied my name. I will make those who are of the synagogue of Satan, who claim to be Jews, though they are not, but are liars, I will make them come and fall down at your feet and acknowledge that I have loved thee. Yeah, again, this is Christian prophecy from the Catholic Church in a book that was probably written by the Catholic Church. I don't think Revelation's old scripture. I think this is all part of the mockery and the lies and that come from authority every single day. I mean, and again, from a young age, it's like, why would you want to believe in this? Like, what is the point of believing this? Oh, I can't wait until my Messiah returns and the whole world is destroyed. Wow, what a great, inspiring belief system. I mean, this is a religion from psychopaths. And we know that's who rules over us, psychopaths. People that just bring evil and needless death and destruction to the world every day. Why wouldn't they give you a religion so you'd believe in those exact things and accept them all and say, oh, this is proof of God. All this destruction and horrors happening in the world. Thank God I believe in this book that told me all this was going to happen. It's like if they made the Project for a New American Century book in the Bible. You know, those guys knew everything that was coming before it happened too. What do you think, they're gods? Man writes books. God does not. Man can plot evil and plan it out and execute it. I suppose God could too, but again, I mean, to credit these things to God, which are clearly the works of man, is just a sign that you're a low IQ point type, I would say. A lot of low IQ point types in this world. Pretty much all I ever saw growing up. Anytime I met anyone with any intelligence, I was like, oh my God, there's another one of you out here? Can count them on my fingers. Oh, how about this, you guys? Today, the House of Representatives struck a deal, because now we're going to have not a 9/11 commission, but we're going to have a January 6th Capitol Insurrection Commission. Let's see how they came up with this today, Friday, May 14th. So from the insurrection to today is 129 days. It's a commission. Commission equals 129 in the most simple cipher. And also 60 in the base ciphers. And today's got 60-date numerology. How about that? How about that? Man, every day, how they just create this. And again, just remember what YouTube did to my... Well, now they've gotten the channels, they got rid of those channels altogether, but even before they took down the channel, we literally had 2 videos on January 6th before it happened, making a bunch of predictions for that day, and every single one of them landed. YouTube took down the video about 2 weeks after for medical misinformation. There wasn't anything about medicine. It was about the contrived incident that would take place January 6th that would pay tribute to the Civil War, which is exactly what it did. Don't forget, from the day that the Civil War statue fell in D.C., June 19th, 2020, to the Capitol insurrection January 6th was 201 days later. That was the Albert Pike statue on June 19th, the Big Mason. But 201 days later, Confederate 201, the Confederate flag flew. Again, it's just... And the date was written 6/1, Washington, D.C., 61, but the Civil War also began in 1861. And then because of that staged ritual, it allowed them to confirm the votes the next day for the big Catholic president, 7/1, when Catholic 71. Again, all this stuff is just planned theater, you guys. It was supposed to be January 6th, but they had to delay it a day because of the theater and the insurrection. And notice how every day there's like a new headline, how a new former military, new former police has been discovered there and is now being charged. It's like, was anybody there besides police and military? And what have I been telling you all these years? All these government psyops are police and military and in costume. That's who creates your news. The news has always been military from the beginning. Everything about the U.S. is a military nation, and that's why it was created by the Catholic Church, which is a military empire, essentially. And again, from the beginning, when TV was a brand new thing, go back and research. All the original news anchors on TV were military school educated. It's always been the military in control of the information, because that's pretty much all the U.S. is at the end of the day. A giant machine that's generating revenue to achieve military goals of the New World Order. Take down this nation, take down this leader, control their drugs over here, control their drugs over there, control their people over here. That's it. That is it. And every day they execute their plans this way. How about this one from the very Jesuit New York Yankees? Again, if you guys haven't read my book, I mean, I got an awesome ritual in here with Fauci and the Yankees and the big Jesuit ritual last year for the opening season. Fauci, Mr. 95, throws out the first pitch. Garrett Cole's first game with the Yankees gets his 95th career win after signing with the Yankees on his 95th day of his age. Again, 95, big number with the Jesuits. New York Yankees, about the most Jesuit thing in sports. New York is major Jesuit town too, with Fordham there. But New York and Jesuit even have the same gematria. But this happened May 13th, 21, a date with 39 numerology, big number in New York. And, the photo they used was the back of base coach 88 standing on Vaccinate NY. He's standing on the in, like I guess how we allow the government to penetrate us with all sorts of things, propaganda, needles. But supposedly eight people connected to the team, 88 in the photo. And I always talk about how Fordham is the 88 university, just like Trump's 88 and he went there. Fordham's got all the 88 connections. Again, that's the Jesuit university there in New York. But just remember, New York Yankees gematria is 65, 70, 187, 191 in the base ciphers. Society of Jesus is 187 and 91. Coronavirus is 70. Pandemic 65. So just perfect team to start. I see the minute 19 timer, kind of like 79 seconds. Another Jesuit number. But it's just a joke. And then also in U.S. news today, the replacement for Liz Cheney's been selected from New York's 21st district, Jesuit 21 in 21, Elise Stefanik. And what I noticed is that from today, the day that she replaces her, to her upcoming birthday is 49 days. Big number there in Washington. Washington's 49, so is America. She's going to turn 37 on July 2nd. Liz Cheney in Congress is 37. Whoops, this is a typo. It should say Washington 49. I'm going to fix that right now before I forget. But again, it's synced up with her 37th birthday. And yeah, again, just another ritual. Another ritual. Pictures of her with her face diaper on. And just a reminder, yesterday, May 13th, the 133rd day of the year. Again, Liz Cheney. We talked about this yesterday, but again, she said Trump's going to destroy democracy to come back into power. Again, on the 133rd day of the year. Here, let me go back. Let me just go back to my old. Well, I probably covered this so many times, but the oldest post would take us back to. Here, let me see if this does it. Trump 133 Fox News. I don't think this is the first one. Well, so the headline was January 27, 2016, about Trump making his 133rd appearance on Fox. But before that, he did the debate, and that was in 2015. And this is exactly what they put up there about how Trump was the 133rd richest in the nation as he was running for president. The first time he took the stage at the Fox News debate, I'm sure it's somewhere on here. If I have just so many posts on this, and I probably wrote about it so many times, you guys search through a million posts. But the very first time Trump stepped on the Fox News debate, the first Republican debate when there was like 20 candidates trying to become the Republican frontrunner in 2015, the very first thing they put up about Trump was this stat right here about being the 133rd richest person. And I thought it said in the world at the time, but it might have been in the nation. And either way, it doesn't matter. It's just the 133 because president, White House, government. And again, that's why you got a shooting in Biden state, Delaware, on the 133rd day of the year. It's the same thing. They do the same rituals with all these puppets. So, and that's why we said in 2015, after Trump's first debate, when everyone was saying there was no way, and everyone was predicting that he wouldn't be in the election for long because he just, he wasn't presidential. We were saying right there, like, I don't know, man. Putting in Trump as the president could make a lot of sense. They always need to up the bar. How do you go from token black guy? Where do you go to next? How about reality TV show game host? And I don't mean to offend anybody by calling Obama a token black guy, but that's what he was. I mean, token black guy. Let's just put a black guy in there so we don't have to listen to Tupac's Changes anymore. Song that came out 10 years before Obama won the election. The big Tupac song after his supposed death. Wouldn't be surprised if that song was recorded in 98. I always think of that Dave Chappelle skit. You never seen the Dave Chappelle skit where he's out in the club and they're playing the new Tupac song? It's like the lyrics of the song are like exactly what he sees going on in the club. He's like, what in the world? The skit's actually pretty funny if you've never seen it. Something about some girl with, looks like she has doo-doo. I forget, man. I forget. But that skit's pretty funny. I haven't seen that skit since it came out. But yeah, again, it's just, I don't know. If we didn't live in a society of retards, you guys, and there's no other way to put it, if we didn't live in a society of retards, this book would have probably sold 10 million copies by now at least. And I'd probably have all the resources to compete with CNN and hire 100 people to help us out and pound payment in every corner. But again, Chigozie was riding his bike this morning in Columbus, Ohio. He showed us what the McDonald's looks like there. God, it really was. The whole parking, there wasn't even a straight line of cars lining up for the McDonald's drive-thru. There was like cars beside each other, like fighting for a position, trying to like cut to get into the drive-thru. It's just like, holy shit. Look how many dumbasses are just waiting there for their trash McDonald's food. How long do you even have to wait in a line like that for? Of course, I imagine probably that maybe the inside of the restaurant's closed so everyone can only go through the drive-thru. But my God, man, make yourself a meal. Go to the grocery store and buy some good quality ingredients. Make yourself a quick sandwich, a quick salad. It really doesn't take that long to prepare good, healthy food. So, a lot of those people, if you didn't watch Chigozie's stream, he's riding his bicycle around town. And I'm glad he's doing that. I've been thinking about doing that for years. I just need to figure out the proper mount to put like the camera on the bike and just walk right around and talk about things. But it was nice seeing Chigozie ride around Columbus, Ohio today because I'd never been to Columbus, Ohio. And Looks like a nice, pretty town. A lot of green trees. But yeah. Anyway, you guys, I gotta wrap this up because I have to do a live stream on Patreon right now. We're gonna cover the Preakness one more time, just as a caution. If you watched yesterday's Preakness thing, I don't have a lot that's new for today. I have a few more things. A few more things stood out to me that make me strengthen my narrative and what I was saying yesterday even more. But it'll mostly be caller driven. That'll be starting right now. It's 11:11 out here right now on the West Coast. It's going to start at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, which is 49 minutes from right now. But I also need to eat something because I haven't eaten anything today. So I will be eating something nice and healthy. Definitely not from McDonald's. Right out of my own kitchen. And then I'll be on for that live stream. And if all goes well, I'll put out all the information. Well, I suspect everything will go well with the Preakness this weekend. And, man, there's so much I want to say right now. But for the people who are on Patreon, I got to keep things exclusive from them. So I'll share it soon enough. You won't, about this time tomorrow, I'll be telling you everything that we already know. But it's just amazing how they do it, you guys. How they line up everything from the news to the movies to the sports. It's just... It is something else, you guys. It is something else, man. These people, as sick and wrong as they are just evil geniuses, man. They are evil geniuses. So, anyway, leave it there. Hopefully, this video wakes up at least a few more people. I'm sure if there wasn't so much censorship, we'd make it to Israel. And it's just frustrating too, you guys, because in 2017, every video I put out, and I mean every video I put out, got at least 10,000 views within the first 30 minutes. Now it's like, I mean, the channels keep getting deleted and you have to keep starting over, but it's like, you put out a really good video that's only 12 minutes long that the whole world's seeing, and 24 hours later it's got 5K views. It's just like, God, man. You can't reach anybody with anything anymore. And then you use these other platforms and it's even worse. So it's like, if you want to reach anybody... You still got to use YouTube, but it's 10 times worse than it was not that long ago. So we'll leave it there for now, you guys. Time to eat. And for those of you on Patreon, I'll see you over there. For those of you not on Patreon, again, for those of you on Patreon, I got to be critical. Why are you not financially supporting this movement? We need big resources to make big things happen. And again, if everybody would just pledge $1, that's a small contribution from one person. But when it comes from a collective group of community, it adds up and becomes something meaningful. And again, I've been saying this since way before the pandemic, that we needed the resources to get the word out there, to educate people about what's coming in this world, who's responsible. Imagine if we'd done that years in advance before all this came around. I mean, maybe we'd be in a different position. But it doesn't seem like people learn, and it seems like all people have resources for is to give money back to the tyrants, their cell phone company, fast food companies, big box retailers. And again, that seems to be my own community. They don't have money for the truth, but I know how Americans are. That's all they spend their money on. I meet people. Some people. I just realized there's so many people, even in my own community, that have wanted to come and meet me, and it's just like, Zach, I give you $1 a month on your Patreon. It's like, yeah, but then you're also telling me how you're signed up for all these Apple services, and you have a consumption problem with technology, so you're giving all your money to big tech and these evil corporations, but you only got $1 a month for the movement. Okay, and trust me, I think $1 a month's perfect. But I mean, if you can afford all this money for all these extra fees, and you're paying this to Apple, and then you got your iWatch, and you brought your laptop with you, it's just like, okay, so you're giving all your money to the most evil company in the world, but you got $1 a month for this. Okay, I see really where your priorities are. You're not really part of the solution. You're just as much under the mind control. And anyway, we'll leave it there, you guys. Be back soon enough. And realize what I'm saying. By all the people who invest in this movement, they make a lot more back. That's the other thing. I mean, you provide a small contribution, you make that back by following the advice, and then everybody's winning. But I don't know. You guys, the majority of you don't seem to be able to put two and two together and do the right thing. So, anyway. Leave it there for now.